We continue learning Dirshu Mishna Berurah Hilchais Kriyas HaTorah. We're closing out Siman Kuf Mem Aleph. We are up to Sif Ches. Says the Mechaber in Sif Ches, called Teva Shehi Kriyu Ksif. Anytime we have a Kriyu Ksif in the Torah, Lachem Mishmesina Shi Nechteves Kmoshi Ba'Torah V'Nikreis B'Ninacher. It's halacha l'Moshe Misinai that it's written one way and it's read another way. We start with one person, that person read it like it was written, front of Gedalim, Harabanim, Rav Yitzchak, Abuhav, Rav Ram Valansi, Rav Shmuel Valansi ben Oizal, Vehidru boy, Sheikru Kviya Messiah of Leiratza. And they warned him to read it the way the Messiah is, and he didn't want to. V'niduo, they put him into Chayrim, and they took him down from being the Balkare, a fascinating story. I see that we missed a Mishnah Berurah in the previous Sif. So for a moment, let's just go back. One Sif Katan Chavav says the Mishnah Berurah Ad She'Allah. Explains the Mishnah Berurah, Mishum Kavod Sefer Torah Shlo Nechel Levada. You never want to leave the Torah by itself. The minig is to wait for the next aliyah to finish a bracha. So really, this is a fascinating din. Really, you get your aliyah. The next aliyah, why are you standing there? Kavod Sefer Torah. Really, all you need to stand there for is what? The bracha. But the problem is, the medakta can feel that as they're walking back to their seats, they're not going to be able to hear the kriya properly. So they finish until the next person's aliyah is finished, and then the yardim being gavra legavra, and they go down between aliyahs. And now the Mishnah Berurah throws in an important halacha. When you're descending from the bima, you go down slowly, you don't run. We do not want it to appear like it was a burden to get an aliyah that you're running away from it. So for one more moment, let's look at Dirshu, note number 18. Dirshu, note number 18. I hope, no, we don't have it in front of us. Dirshu, note number 18. Let's try one more second. It says Dirshu, note number 18, that he should wait until this next guy finishes the aliyah. It's not mefurash if you only have to wait till he finishes the aliyah, or until the bracha afterwards finishes. It says the chayadam, he should wait until the next person finishes his bracha. Why? Because he won't be able to hear the bracha on the way back. So we're seeing over here is a startling din. Really, when do you have to stay at the Torah for your aliyah? Kavod Torah, we don't want to leave it by itself, so we wait for the next bracha. We're afraid if you go back by the next bracha, you're not going to decrease the Torah, you stay for the Kriyas Torah. So then go back after Kriyas Torah, but says, now you're going to miss the bracha. And that's where the minhag developed that, of course, what do we all do? We stay for the next aliyah with the next bracha. So now we continue with Sif Ches. It says the Mishnah Berurah in Sif Ches, I apologize for going a little bit backwards over there. Says the Mishnah Berurah in Sif Ches, let's get the Mishnah Berurah in Sif Ches open. Okay, there it is. Says the Mishnah Berurah, Kifi HaMisayra, Ratzalaimer, HaKabbalah Shekibanu Likraisa, our Kabbalah is that we read it. Again, a Kriyu Ksiv, it's written one way. Our Misayra is that we read it the way that we read it. We don't go the way that it's written. The Nikra Misayras Ba'ama Im the Misayras, like a Misham Isra Likras Ba'Teira, Filo Isa Achash Shloim and Eksav. So the problem is, wait, that means you're reading something by heart. Says Mishmur that is allowed. The Shani Yachshkachi Allah L'Moshe B'Sinai. This is the Allah L'Moshe B'Sinai, and therefore you are allowed to read it Ki'ilu Ba'al Peh. So for a moment, let's dive into the Dirshus over here. Says the Dirshu, note number 19, Kabbalah is to read it. What about the name Yisachar or Yisachar? Says Zevra Min Chashai, in the name of the Rishayim, we read it Yisachar with one shin. Taskeni Balei Taisus, they write the reason is the first shin is Keneged Nasan Lakim as Sachari, and the second shin is Char Scharticha, and since the second one is a Lashon Genai, therefore we only want to read one shin. So fascinating why we only say Yisachar, we don't say Yisachar. The shin, yeah, okay. Let's continue. Let's continue. Okay, more read on, let's one more line over here. Ramosha Feinstein, they quote Mesiris Moshe, that he says that this is indeed the minhag, that the Torah says, the first time the Torah says you should read it B'lashon Yisaschar with two shins, so that we understand that is his name. Rav Yaakov Kamenetsky, the Stipler Yaakov Kanievsky was noy the first time that we lane the Yisachar with one shin, and then he would say it again with two shins. Very interesting. Now, even though you're reading a word Baal Peh, says the Shari Ephraim, that you have to see the word in front of you, so no one should think, wait, it's a Korean Iksiv, it's written this way, I'm reading it that way, so I don't have to look inside. No, you still have to see the word. Pislei Sharim add the makar to this is that we say the Shema Havaya, Aleph Daled Nun Yud, of course, even though what we're looking at is Yud, Hey, Vav, etc. And of course, you have to look at the Shem Hashem when you're reading it. However, it comes in the Shevet Alevi, and he says there's no hechrich that this is ma'akev b'diavad. Perhaps he only means lechat chila. And we continue with Siman Kof Mem Beis, beginning a new Siman in which the Siman is coined by the Machaber. Din mi shekara v'tal, someone who makes a mistake. Very important halachos. As we've already seen, what do you do if you don't have a Baal Kairei who knows how to lane properly? Says the Mishmur Karavata, if a mistake is made even with one letter, you go back. Says Ram that's the critical line. Says the Ramah, it has to be a mistake that messes up the topic. Aval, however, imta b'neginas hatam, oy b'nikud, ein machzir naisai. Aval gair in the Bible, we do yell at him. Since of course it's difficult, we have to know the diktuk, we have to understand what changes the meaning, etc. So here we go. Says the Mishnah Berurah Sivkotan Aleph, Afilu b'diktuk oizachas geon shechizar oisa ve'isa oisa chudayma. You messed up one letter. Kamoshi verli kamei. Machzir oisa Sivkotan beis sheyikranu b'diktuk. You have to read it properly. V'hainu bein shu oimed adayin b'pasuk zeh bein shu kavar. Gomer aparsha. Afilu berach lachre nami. You've already made the bracha. Oila achrav chayzel oisa pasuk. You have to read from the mistake and onwards to the end of the parsha, and three more psukim in the next parsha. Now that we have a Baal Kari, Nami Dinach is the same din. So one would think, wait, maybe the Baal Kari is not making a bracha, only the person getting a liyah. So maybe if you made a mistake, it's not a big deal. Says Mishnah Berurah, no, still have to go back to lav bracha. Tell you, this is not a din of the bracha. Let's see, you add on a letter, but it doesn't actually change anything. Kigoin shekar la'aharoin haroin bepatach b'loy aleph oilim mitzrim mitzriem uchadayme v'nakat negina v'nikud mishom. So why did the Ramah say that he messed up the negina or he messed up a dot? He could have said he even messed up a letter. We're seeing that it sometimes doesn't change the meaning. Because when it comes to the negina, it comes to the nekudais, often that does not change the actual meaning. But even when it comes to the nekudais, let's say it does change the meaning. And this is going to change the tense of the word. Completely different word. He sat and he's sitting. It's changing the actual word. So there are times that even for one nikuda you have to go back. Let's say you mess up a trop, but it changes the meaning. How can it do? Not like people say that if you made a mistake and you see this and you said Hashem's name, you don't have to go back. You do have to go back. Ein machzir l'sod sivkat nein and bin chazan akar bin oil boy sivkat avav cause when shuvas marmits a chazin zar lachzor mit chila sidr tisha gura bepiv called the kukim b'mitagim. Says the Maramins, you don't just get up to lane and assume you know it. No, the Chazan has to practice the Balkairi. Ulel Maran, the right tenses, Yaminu small, Vikra b'mitav labihiris, he should lane nicely, not too quickly. Ve'ula Yavliya Shom, perhaps he's going to swallow. Shom, Ois, a letter, Oiteva, Ve'vianu Alel Yerabba. So importance of the Chazan. Before we call it a day, let's go and let's see some dirshus over here. Number one, the Ramah is going to explain the imach zirin only when you change the inyan, not like the makar chayim, the kavachayim that they said that according to Shulchan Aruch you have to go back, even if it does not change the meaning. That is not how we're going to pass. Can you only go back if it changes the meaning? And therefore you have to be karenu b'tiktok regarding kriyas hatayra bavarois shoynos. How does it work? Someone has a chasidish havara, someone has a Litvish havara, someone has a Sfaradi havara, Israeli. How does it work? One being yotzi from the next. Says the Stibler, b'di'eved b'vada yer yotzim. B'di'eved. If one hears a different havara, he's Chasidish, he is a Litvish or a Sfardi, etc., he's still yotzi. Ben kriyas havara Ashkenazis, ben kriyas havara Sfardis, any of them you're yotzi b'di'eved. Ben ma'akar Ashkenazi, ben Sfardi, whoever said it, whether he's what he does, etc., you are Yaitzi. Similarly, Ramesha Feinstein in Igra Gimel Siman Hay says the changing of the Havara is all MS and it's not like considered another Lashon. On the other hand, the Brisker Rav Agarnis Aksev Salavechik, as brought by Ramesh Shtarmach and Chuz Van Hada, he says, Kriyas HaTaira, Chayiv, each and every person here according to his Messiah. And look at the Chazon Ish, if it didn't have an argument as well, says something similar. So, it sounds like most of the Paiskim, barring the Brisker Rav, hold it's okay to hear on a different Havara. Now that the Chazan is a Kari, therefore he's not making a bracha. Even when the Eilim knows, why not? So he doesn't embarrass him, and because many do not know the correct Nukudos, etc. So you have to go back even for a Nikud. Now let's say you messed up, and the Me'el Milra Lehepech says Rishem Zalmin, even if it changes the asid to the avar, ein machzir noisai. So that's a big win, says Rishem Zalman, if it messes up, but it changes the mil'el, mil'ara, where you're putting the focus on the word, which syllable gets the emphasis, which could change whether it's a past or future tense. Still says Rishem Zalman, you do not have to go back. If you doubled up a word, says Rishem Zalman, even if it changes the meaning, you do not have to go back. And if you read a shvanach instead of a shvana, which is the shva, whether you hear it or you don't hear it, says the Sefer HaChaim, which is from Chaim Pelagi, you do not have to go back. And if you read law without the mapike, law instead of law, says ubechach she'eno chayzer. So of course, as we're seeing, it's pretty intricate when you do. And when you do not have to go back, and this is the reason why often many shuls have it that just a Rav or just one person who knows the Kriya, he's the one that does the corrections, because not in every scenario does one have to go back. And the B'siyat Deshmaya will pick it up from Sif Beis in the next year, Mirza Hashem.